Ahoy! And welcome to the Boating Hour with Captain Rick. The Boating Hour brings you the latest and greatest essential information about everything that sails, floats, or motors upon the high seas of Southern California. From landlubbers to old salts, there'll be something for everyone. So climb aboard and get ready to sail with Captain Rick.
Ahoy out there and welcome to the Boating Hour. I'm Captain Rick and I want to thank you for joining us here on AM 870. We're here every Saturday at 4 p.m. and please be sure to visit us on the web at theboatinghour.com. And now all over social media on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Rumble. The Boating Hour with Captain Rick. Thanks to our sponsor for our show today. For a healthy gut, the best probiotic on the market, Livia One Probiotics, natural, organic, and allergen-free. And for all of you emailing me, I'll have a whole show on the emails. Thank you so much. We got a lot of response from emails that came in, especially from our last show. What a wonderful show on the cover of the Malibu Times. It was absolutely magnificent, so I will be responding to that because they're sending over airplanes with food and supplies and all kinds of necessities to help the victims that are suffering in Hawaii. We'll follow up on that as well. But today, an exciting guest for you. We've got Jennifer Boat. Jennifer, thanks for joining Captain Rick on the Boating Hour.
Ahoy, Captain Rick. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here on the Boating Hour with you and Dr. Captain Commodore Craig.
Yeah, we'll introduce Craig in a second, but I want to start the show out with a little background because you're in boating. Let's talk about your background, and then we'll talk about your boat in the marina and the project you're talking about and the upcoming Halloween parade. But let's talk about your background because I guess you've been around boats your whole life.
I sure have. Actually, my backstory is kind of interesting. My mom, who is also my hero, she was an Olympic contender in swimming, and so was always taking us to the beach or boating. I grew up landlocked in St. Louis, Missouri, but we always had a boat, and we were able to water ski and enjoy the water in the lakes. And then when I graduated college, I moved to Hilton Head Island, South Carolina, and started a sports marketing company. Ended up buying a condo on the water at Shelter Cove Harbor and a boat, and my love for boating has just been increasing ever since. I used to venture out with my friend and her father, who had a 65-foot Hatteras, I believe.
Oh, my goodness.
And, yes, so when I moved to Los Angeles about 20 years ago, I just kept dreaming about being back on the water, and that led me eventually to Marina del Rey.
What brought you to Los Angeles?
Well, I came out here with the dream of acting, and I was doing a bunch of commercials, and when I arrived in Los Angeles, we were striking commercially. So this strike of, recently has me remembering my early days when I first arrived here. So I've always had background in marketing and PR as well as acting, so I was able to have both careers going simultaneously.
That's pretty exciting. I grew up and I was born and raised and grew up in Los Angeles acting out and getting into trouble, but not really acting.
Yes, right. I know. I first discovered that I could make people laugh, and that was my first desire to get on stage and have an impact, and it's just been, a passion of mine ever since.
That's a lot of fun. Well, let's introduce Dr. Captain Commodore Craig, who's putting together the second annual Halloween parade that'll be coming up, and we talked about this on one of our earlier shows. We're going to be featuring this as we get closer, but welcome to the show, Craig.
Thanks for having me on, Captain Rick. Hello, ahoy, Jennifer Boat. October 28th, October 28th, second annual Halloween Boat Parade. Enter your boat now at HalloweenBoatParade.com and go to Instagram to track what's going on at Instagram.com/HalloweenBoatParade. Great to hear from you, Captain Rick.
Well, I'm really excited, and my goal in the not-so-far future is to do some of these shows live. I'd love to be out there on the day of the event, but I will be coming with my camera. I am so excited that this is going to now hopefully be an iconic event every year. So this is the second event. So Jennifer, I want to know
Yes.
about the venture that you have where you're trying to get kids out on the water. Let's talk about that project. Make sure you plug the website and tell people how to, how to find out more. I will put stuff up on my website as well. But let's talk about that project because it's a wonderful project that really deserves to get talked about, and people need to find out about it.
Absolutely. Well, it's interesting because our boat that we have called the Conqueror, which is in Marina del Rey, right by Craig's boat, we actually fell into this opportunity, and it all started with a windshield. I know that sounds very strange, but Nick, my significant other, he runs a nonprofit organization called Drive Around the World.
Okay.
And he was taking old Hummers and converting them to zero fossil fuel vehicles, which he is now getting ready to take on a big expedition to Antarctica. So he converted 2 old Hummers to hybrid PTVs, which are polar traverse vehicles. And he was sitting in a coffee shop, and he looked outside, and he saw that somebody had a broken windshield on their Hummer. And he said, "Hey, does anybody here own this Hummer that has a broken windshield?" And somebody spoke up and said, "I do. That's my Hummer." And he said, "Well, I have an extra one. I could bring you the windshield if you would like." And so he said, "Sure, come on down. I'm in the marina, and I have a boat." And so Nick drove over with the windshield and brought it to this man who had this beautiful 108-passenger vessel. And he said, "Well, tell me about this boat." He gave him a tour. And then Nick and I started walking around the marina and looking at this boat and thinking, wow, someday we would love to have that boat. Well, it turned out that this man walked away from the boat, and we were given the opportunity to buy the boat. So it's a 108-passenger ship that is on an Entai in the marina. It's built in 1973, so it's a classic motor yacht, and it was designed at the end of the wood boat era.
Okay.
It's called the Bellamy, that was built in North Carolina. So we were given this opportunity through Nick's nonprofit. So when we came onto the boat, we saw this huge opportunity to take this boat and carry out our mission of doing a really local, really wonderful program to take kids out using this boat and have them explore the ocean, explore the sea, and really have an experience of boating so that that could relate to their everyday life of recycling and everything else to protect our sea environment. And the boat that we have is so spectacular. It was used for over 30 years for science educational program. So it was used down in Long Beach. And so we saw this wonderful opportunity to reboot this program, and we're calling it Driving Science at Sea. So if you go to YouTube, you can actually find information about this vessel and what we're trying to do with it. It's called, if you go to YouTube, it's Drive Around the World is Driving Science at Sea. And there's a video that talks all about the program that we envisioned for this beautiful boat. And it happens to be narrated by my client, Jim Hanks, and it has incredible redesign and architectural plans by the famed architectural genius William Taylor. William Taylor runs a studio called streetstudio.la, and he also runs a school called the Los Angeles Institute of Architecture and Design, located in Koreatown. And the way that I found William, I started calling some of the design schools to help with our remodel. And he came forward and said, "I really have a love for this. I love what you're trying to do, to take kids out, to give them an experience on the water. I want to help you." And he came forward and has been spectacular ever since.
God, that's so amazing. There's not enough programs. I've talked to people that do run programs. Matt Schultz in Marina del Rey, amazing man, runs a sail group, and I think you might know him as well. And there's some other people, a lot of juniors program going on, but they only scratch the surface. There's so many kids that have never seen the beach, seen Marina. They live here. And it's so amazing. So it's so well needed. So what's going on with the Halloween parade? Are you going to be parading around or having a party on the boat? Tell me about, let's get into the Halloween parade.
Yes, of course. So we are very excited to be, this is my second year participating. And last year I was a passenger on one of the boats that went out. And it's so much fun because what it does, it brings the community together. It's a free event. Anybody can go and watch the boats go by. They're going to be fully decorated. Hola Halloween Boat Parade is happening, and it's just going to be so much fun to be there. We are participating because we're going to actually have some of the participants come back to our boat for a little wrap party at the end. But it's really wonderful to see, I think, the community come together. I mean, that's really what we were striving to do with our boat, just with kids, in taking them out and giving them an opportunity by teaming up with a company called Blue Robotics and actually having them deploy an underwater ROV and see the bottom of the ocean and explore through cameras and everything else so they could actually get under the water and see what's happening without even getting wet. So that was one of our other parts to our program.
That's fascinating. Tell me a little bit about that you're partnering up with. What's the name of the company again, and what do they do? Because it's fascinating.
Yes, so they're called Blue Robotics, and they have a similar, if you are familiar with drones, it's kind of like an underwater drone. It's a remote operating vehicle, ROV, underwater ROV, and it's pretty spectacular that you can take this ROV and see things that are happening. We were going to take it out to the pipeline because there's a lot of underwater sea life going on over there, and have the kids really explore and have various teams where they're either building the ROV, using it for just shooting everybody else, like a camera exploration, creating short films, whatever they want to do. And then others were going to be able to grab particles and specimens from the sea and look under a microscope and see what's going on. And I mean, just so many things that they can do from using the ROV. It's just a wonderful tool for them.
That's so fascinating. I'd like to look at that because I can find the monsters and the mermaids when I'm looking under sea.
Yes, you could. Absolutely. And we actually have a sea crane on the back of our vessel that can lift up to 7,000 pounds. So you could pull up a considerable amount of mermaids.
Well, that is magnificent. So, Craig, I want to talk a little bit about the Halloween parade. You started it last year. For the people that haven't listened to you and haven't been on the show before, tell us what the inspiration to starting this and how you did it, and the difference between people that for the first time went out last year and now the buzz around the marina that this is the second annual. So tell me a little bit about the inspiration to this.
Well, it was just like, the kids are going out and trick-or-treating on the 31st, and it's the 28th is Saturday the 28th at 8 p.m. It's a, opportunity for kids and adults to do something together, where they're, going out to the harbor and looking at the boats together, and it's an opportunity for people to decorate their boat and have a great time on Saturday the 28th. We've got something that was breaking news. Actually, we're partnering up with the Spirit Halloween store. The Spirit Halloween store is at 10345 Maxella, above the shoe store in Marina Del Rey. Now they have a Spirit of the Children charity where they sell wristbands for $2. They've raised over $110 million because Spirit of Halloween is a national chain of Halloween stores. So I would really like everybody to, when you're looking for your items and your decorations for your boat, for the boat parade, go to the Spirit Halloween store, 10345 Maxella. Matt's the manager over there. He's all down, and then you can buy your wristbands there for $2 each. And like I said, the money goes to children's hospitals. The partner here is UCLA, Children's Hospital, UCLA. Mattel Toys is involved, and they're really cute little wristbands. They're those kind of rubbery wristbands. They have 3 different kinds, and they have. If you go to the website for Spirit Halloween, they have They have coupons for 20% off items, and go over there. Matt's fantastic. The store has everything. If you want to be Wednesday and do the Wednesday dance, that's great. You can be Wednesday Addams. They have new, if you want to be Barbie, Jennifer Boat could be Barbie. They have great Barbie costumes, and they have really cool animatronic stuff that just moves and crazy. We're posting a couple of the favorite ones that they have in the store when you walk in the store. So it's a great charity. Like I said, they've raised so much money, $110 million nationally, over $1.5 million locally, just at that one store. So Spirit Halloween store above the shoe store, 10345 Mex. I'll go there and get your stuff. And Matt, say hi to manager Matt. He's great. So we're looking forward to partnering with them. And we are everybody's getting ready. We're getting in parade mode, especially after Labor Day. And to register your boat again, one more time, www.halloweenboatparade.com. It's Captain Rick and Jennifer Boat. It's real and it's spooktacular.
Oh, yes, it is.
Spooktacular.
It's going to be so much fun. And bringing the community together is exactly what we all want. And that's really what we want to do together. This is fantastic.
Jennifer, I want to ask you a little bit about, I want to go back to the very beginning. Let's talk about the East Coast. What's it like?
Sure.
What's it like, growing up and being in boating, and you did you do a little sail racing as well? Were you a power boater and, from a fisherman family, or did you do some racing on boats as well?
Well, we were really just motorboat.
Okay.
We liked to water ski, so we would do a lot of water skiing from our boats. And I did have I was able to go on quite a few sailboats as well, because when you're in the community, just like Marina del Rey or anywhere, you start to get to know other boaters, and there were some really wonderful vessels that were on Hilton Head. And so I was right there in Shelter Cove Harbor where, some magnificent boats would come by, and I had many opportunities to go out and either deep sea fish or be around it at least, or just be a part of a sailing group. So it was wonderful. It's very different from the lake boating, but it's still any type of boating I think is really fun. And now I'm into paddleboarding and kayaking and all kinds of activities. And in the marina, it's so nice to just be able to drop into the water with your paddleboard and go over to Trader Joe's or any of the restaurants that are on the water now, which is really nice.
Have you seen in Mother's Beach and Marina del Rey, and I've actually seen this in Newport Beach as well, have you seen the yoga classes on paddle boards out there in the middle of the ocean? I gotta get that instructor to come on, because
I know
when I try to do yoga to stretch, and believe me, I'm a klutz. It's more of a comedy show than an exercise routine. But I can't even imagine being on a paddleboard out in the water. I would be spending most of my time trying to climb back aboard.
Yes, it is pretty tricky. It's all core work. So as long as if you're out there on a paddleboard, you can definitely find your way to doing yoga. I think that's a wonderful offer that they have.
Yeah, it's really exciting. Mother's Beach is just such a wonderful, wonderful place,
It is. It really is. There's so much going on in the marina, and I just think it's such a nice community to be a part of, and people work together. I mean, when we, whenever there's a need, everybody jumps right in and helps each other. It's just a really lovely community.
You know what's exciting about marinas, and I find this anywhere I go? You could be be involved in road rage on the freeways and, thinking about all kinds of problems in life. As soon as you roll into the marina, any marina,
yes,
all of a sudden you're happy, and there's people you've never seen before waving at you and ask you how you're doing.
Yes.
It's such a wonderful environment. It really is. I really enjoy it.
So much.
I used to back, as a kid, and this was a whole another generation. We used to ride our bikes down to the marina, forget to lock them. When it got dark, the mothers had to pick us up, and then after school the following day, we'd have to go pick up our bikes again. But it was
yes.
Yeah, not enough youth activities, and I really like this. Let's plug again. How do people find out about the driving science at sea and about your boat? How do they find you on Instagram and the web?
Yes, if you go to YouTube, you can just type in "Drive Around the World" is driving science at sea.
Okay, driving
science. I know
it's
kind of lengthy, but Drive Around the World is driving science at sea. And the video will tell you all about the program that we envisioned for the kids. And I still think it's absolutely worthy. We just need to get a couple of partners to come on board and help us with that project. So it's we've done a complete remodel on the boat, and we've gone from the top of the boat on down. All of the decks are redone. It really looks nice. The whole starboard side is completed. We took out any of the dry rot and completely replaced it. The boat it's charming. It has mahogany all around. It's just a beautiful, beautiful boat that holds 108 passengers. And it's just a very, very special boat. In fact, we've had quite a few people lately want to purchase our boat. So we've had people want us to sell them it. So it's something that we would love to hold on to. But it is it's very special.
I hope I can find you some partners to help keep this going, especially because we need more youth activities. I think that's the solution to the problem that we're having, not just locally, but in the entire country. Our youth, it's so expensive to get involved in activities. I had a guest on the show. She was a guest speaker, Captain Carolyn, and she was a guest speaker at a women's event in Marina del Rey, and she is the captain for the tall ships down in San Pedro. And she was on a college program, and she had never been to the ocean. She was from from the East Coast, but she was around lakes, and not a sailor, not a boater. And on one of her projects, she loved working with the kids, and she loved the tall ships. And of course, they have the pirates. And so she learned. During her college years, she became a 100-ton captain, and now she's Captain Carolyn, working with the kids at the tall ships in San Pedro. That was a whole show. So we love it. Yeah, we need more events. A lot of women involved in boating, and I've talked about this on the Coast Guard and stuff. Well, that's been fantastic. I really want to thank both of you for coming on the show. It's really been wonderful, and I'm looking forward to this Halloween event and coming to see your ship. So this is
absolutely, and we are looking forward to having you on our boat. So thank you so much for your time today, Captain Rick, and thank you, Dr. Captain Commodore Craig.
Yeah, thank you very much, Captain Rick. So I have to tell you, the Conqueror looks amazing from where. You have to see it from where it started to where it is now. They've really done an amazing job just with hard work and just perseverance. And I met Nick the first day he looked at the boat, and he looked at it, looked at me. I said, "Man, are you in for a ride? Because it's going to take a minute."
Wow, that's
and
great.
God bless them, they stuck with it, and the end result is unbelievable. It's unbelievable, and we're proud to have it as part of the Halloween Boat Parade, October 28th is the committee boat, and then we'll see you all out there. Register your boat at HalloweenBoatParade.com.
That is awesome. Well, that's all the time we have for you today. I hope you enjoyed our show. As always, we're so very fortunate to have such wonderful and exciting guests, and you can go to theboatinghour.com. We'll have some stuff up there so you can see and listen to the show again. And let's not forget the Coasties, protecting our waters, America's lifesavers and guardians of the sea. Remember, if you do it right and follow the guidelines and the safety precautions, there's no place like being out in the water, in the fresh air and sunshine, in beautiful, sunny Southern California. Here at the Boating Hour with Captain Rick, we cover everything that sails, motors, and floats from San Diego to Santa Barbara. Thanks for being with us today, and please be sure to join us next week and every Saturday at 4 p.m. on AM 870. And thanks to our sponsor for the show today, for a healthy gut, Livia One Probiotics. I want to thank my guests for coming on today, and don't forget to visit us on the web at theboatinghour.com, and now all over social media, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. The Boating Hour with Captain Rick. Keep your emails coming. This is Captain Rick saying ahoy, be safe, and fair winds to all.